So we're in the park right now, and I'm gonna find a nice spot to sit down and have a conversation with you guys. What's it gonna be? Oh man, Gen X versus Gen Z. See how that goes. That gap, that divide. See how we can bridge that gap. So, talk to you guys in a second.
F-U-E-T.
I grew up in a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I beat my mind up there almost daily. It's how I pass time, no opinions safely. It's how I understand what I want in this place, see. Cause everybody wanna tell you bad things, what could go wrong, what fame brings. But success is a finicky thing, and if you ain't sure, no, it'll never be. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't wanna let myself down.
What up, peoples? It's your man X back again. Glad to be here. Well, today I'm in the park. September? Oh, we're out of September now, you know? We're now in October. Today is like October 4th. Tomorrow's my friend's birthday. Fat Mike the Gangster. Really cool guy. He's a Gen X. That's what we're gonna speak about today. Today is the vlog Gen X versus Gen Z's. The big divide. So what would Gen Z be? I think 32 and yeah, 32 around that age. 30, 32, probably, you know, a couple numbers in between. So I'm a Gen X. I have a Gen Z son, and he's a introvert, very intelligent. I would say he's not a social person. Like, he doesn't have a lot of friends. He doesn't interact with a lot of people outside his work. He speaks fluent Japanese. So he's a little different. But when it comes to tech and those stuff, he's highly intelligent, but his social skills are a little off to me, because I think just because he's an introvert, you know, he doesn't like to engage with people like I do and my younger son also did. Now, my youngest son, which he would have been 22 this year, I guess would be a millennial. I'm not 100% sure, but he was more like his daddy. And if you guys hear things like dropping, it's because it is fall and I'm sitting under a tree and acorns are dropping. I hope one does not fall on this camera. It's crazy, but I'm enjoying it, you know. I'm enjoying the day, you know, because it's beautiful. It's like 82 degrees. It's what you would call an Indian summer. But back to my youngest son, I guess he's a millennium, but his persona was completely different. Very outgoing. He's a basketball player. Pretty much like his dad, likes to help people, like to engage with people. So I was reading an article the other day, Gen Z versus Gen X on LinkedIn, I think. And in the workplace, you have Gen Zs and Gen X, and they cannot communicate. There's a language barrier. Can you imagine that? A language barrier. Now, we're not speaking about someone that speaks English and someone that speaks Chinese or anything like that. We're speaking about two English speaking peoples, okay? Now, how can there be such a divide in a language barrier when they both speak the same language? I'm going to explain it the best way I can. If you're given a certain demographics, right, within, let's say, the United States, because that's where we live, you can go to a certain area, let's say the Deep South, because I'm more familiar with that, and I'm a New Yorker. We have a different way of conversing. The words are different, the slang is completely different. I've interacted with people in the South where I really don't know what they're saying. Like, I literally have to listen well and try and figure out what they're saying because of their slang. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't speak proper English, because it is proper English according to their demographics, where they live. And I guess that's where you get the Wikipedia type of what would I call that? Dialysis of how English is spoken depending on where you are from. These things are getting closer. So back to Gen Z versus Gen X. So now we're speaking about Gen X versus Gen Z in one area, okay? Since we've gotten to the different demographics as far as statewide. Now let's get it towards in-state. So we're in New York, and you cannot, communicate with Gen Zs versus Gen X. I was at a motorcycle dealership yesterday. Some people I know really well, and the proprietor of the place was speaking about his son. He's like, I am in awe. He's like, I don't understand. I just don't understand these kids. Like, I'm lost, And I just told him about the story that I read. And he's like, no, it's true. He's like, I don't know how to communicate with them. He says they're beautiful when it comes to books, computers, and stuff like that. He said they're highly intelligent. But then when you talk about street smarts and common sense, they have none at all. I think he said he bought his son a house, and like everything that has to do with the house, the kid, the son doesn't understand. And I think he has a girlfriend, he's married or whatever. He's like, my son decides he's gonna go buy a dog, and he pays $20-something hundred for this dog and does not know how to take care of the dog. And he's calling the father and asking the father, to babysit the dog, but you can't put him in a cage. You cannot keep him in the cage because the dog is ripping up everything and tearing up. He's untrained. It's like humans. You basically have to train him, guide him. Guide him towards, doing right. And what was funny is he's telling the dad he cannot keep him in the cage, but yet and still the son keeps him in the cage. He says, how does that work? Where's that logical? And that's something really, really simple. I watch these YouTubers speak to younger Gen Zs and test their common sense. With man has a child, and his name, the children's name is April, May, June, Ann. He says, what's the fourth child's name? and they start listing off months. The child's name is Ann. Ann, that's it. It's that simple. But I think, I feel maybe they're overthinking. Who knows? Because they get maybe nervous about answering the question. Who knows? But it's simple. You know, and we're talking about kids that are in college, kids that have more knowledge than I have on certain things. And let's talk about possessing the tools for the job. You know, this computer right here that we have in our head is the right tool for most verbal jobs. Okay. Yes, you have to program the computer to do other jobs. It's like me on YouTube. I want to progress in YouTube, right? As my numbers go up, it shows progress, right? As my videos get a lot of views, it shows progress. So I'm progressing with my platform based on the tools I have, which is a camera, you know, my microphone, my computer, you know, the DaVinci Resolve that I use to edit my videos. So I have the right tools for the job. Now, as far as my job goes, me getting to the next level, pretty much is predicted by how many views I get, how many subscribers I get. That's something kind of totally out of my control. You know, it depends on if my content is good enough for someone to be viewing and say, you know what, I like this guy, I'm going to subscribe, you know, and so on. And I'm just using this as basically not a metaphor, but a tool to explain where I'm going with this, as far as having the tools for, you know, the right tools for the job. These kids have the right tool. They've got this. They're inherently smarter than Gen X, you know, depending on who you are. There's some people that are super advanced. Having a high IQ doesn't mean that you're going to achieve greatness. And if you look it up, the smartest man in the world had an IQ of 200 and I don't know, 50 something, 30 something. I don't know. It was the highest IQ. It was higher than Albert Einstein's IQ. So think about that. And he did not live up to the potential of his IQ, because there are other mitigating factors of that. You know, now you have an IQ so high, but your social surroundings is not great, like your parenting, your upbringing in your house. You start to get phobias. You start to not be able to actually assimilate with your peers, you know, because you're highly intelligent, and maybe some of the things that they do, you know, you just can't be that person that follows what everybody's doing, you know, and you have to set a precedence because of your intelligence. And it's either you're going to be a leader and somehow help people, or you're going to be a recluse. He went into being a recluse, you know, and you know, because he was put on such a high pedestal, you know, and he had other factors going on in his life. It's just like everything else. We have other factors that go on in life, and it's just how you deal with these factors. And some of these kids cannot deal with the factors that are in life right now, and that's putting it simple. They just cannot deal, you know. Their life is more so dictated by social media. Point blank. Internet is a beautiful thing. I call it, you know, heaven and hell. You know, there's great stuff for learning, you know, and pursuing entrepreneurship, great for business, but then it has its dark side, you know, where these people get in tune to it so much, and that's their life. They want to live a social media life, you know, and that's not sustainable. You know, they're things that you have to know. Like, luckily, I would have to say my oldest son is pretty grounded, you know, maybe because he's an introvert. My younger one, he just had it all. He was like that. He was that guy, you know, athletic, you know, handsome, well-spoken, knew how to get what he wanted with his brain without compromising who he was as a person. And who he was as a person, to me, was a god. Like, he was just a leader. His name was Geronimo. He was born a leader, and he showed that, you know, during his life. You know, his 21 years, he showed that he was a leader. You know, I haven't made a video yet speaking about him crossing over. It's still emotional for me. Next month will be 1 year that he's crossed over on the other side. I want to make the video before it really gets cold, but I just miss him a lot. I'm sorry, and it's hard for me, you know, at times, you know, even though I understand life and death, we all have to leave this place, but it's hard because he meant so much to my everyday life. Like I said, he was that person, he was that guy. You know, he's the one that calls and checks up on me and tells me what he's doing, what's going on in his life, you know, and vice versa. He was an amazing person, you know. The world's gonna miss him, man, because he was far and few in between at his age, you know, and his peers told me he was ahead of the curve, you know. He was ahead of the curve. He just had everything. It's life, though, you know. We don't have a set date. We don't have a set time. But we all have to leave this place, you know. I just wish I had left before him, you know. Then again, I don't know how he would have taken it, you know. He would have derailed his progress in life. You know, I already pretty much done everything and had everything in my life, so it's, you know, for me at this stage, it's just watching my sons develop into great men and people that are willing to help other people. And I tell you guys, this is what my channel is about. As boring as it may be, you know, it's just about, you know, trying to reach young people and show them that there is light at the end of the tunnel, you know, and this journey is about learning and giving yourself to others. You know, only after action comes understanding. So you have to go through a process of putting action into work before you understand certain things. And I think that's what they're missing. They're not putting enough action into certain aspects of life to understand life itself. And I think that's where the divide is. Like us, we had to put that action in. You know, in some of my videos I tell you guys that we had chores, we had things that we had to do. We didn't have a lawn service to take care of our lawn. We had to do that ourselves. You know, my mom had 3 boys. We had, you know, this is fall now, right now in New York. The leaves are falling, you know, so we would have to go and rake the leaves, our leaves, and then once we're finished working our yard, Then we go on to other people's yards and ask them if we can rake their leaves for some money, you know, and you get $5 or $10, you know, you were happy, you know. And the same thing in the snow time, man. You didn't have a snow blower, you know, the snow would come down. We would go to people's doors, ask them, can we shovel their snow, you know, older people, you know, and they'd be like, yeah, and they give you $10, they give you $20. It's, you know, if it's you and your homeboy, one or two homeboys, you know, you split the money, and we just try and get as much money as we can throughout the day while we're freezing our butts off. But guess what? That coal was blocked out. Sorry about the airplane. The coal was blocked out by the fact that you were making money, you know? Cheddar makes everything better, man, for real. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching my video. Again, like and subscribe. Help me get my viewership up. Oh, there's one more thing, man. Just before I go, you know, again, the right tools for the right job. I'm trying to become an Amazon affiliate, what do you call it, influencer. And even that, like, I have the platform, but I get denied. You know why I get denied? Because they want certain steps for you to have in order to become an influencer. So I'm gonna try it on another channel and see what happens. But you guys have been great. You know, again, I appreciate it. You can like, comment below. Just, you know, try to interact with each other. Try and take care of each other the best way you can, you know. Try to understand people, you know. That's it, man. Spread the love.
Place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I beat my mind up there almost daily. It's how I pass time, no opinions safely. It's how I understand what I want in this place. See, cause everybody wanna tell you bad things. What could go wrong, what fame brings, but success is a finicky thing. And if you ain't sure, no, it'll never be. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. Run away, I don't have to plan it. I can go change my fate, you won't